Hello, and welcome to Natural Remedies and Health Tips. I'm creating this channel basically for those people who just want to be able to take care of themselves just with products a lot of times that they have in their own home. Um, you're going to find natural remedies, solutions for common ailments and health problems that kind of take place in your body. We'll cover your skin as well, anti-aging remedies, and from time to time I will also recommend certain products, and these will always be products that I have used myself with good results. So, and they will be products more leaning on the natural line. Um, so if it's, let's say, it's a type of hair product or even skincare, like I will always recommend products that are paraben free and sulfate free and things like that to try to avoid any chemicals into our bodies. And the same thing with any just an actual supplement, that a lot of supplements are full of fillers or just really cheap ingredients, just not quality ingredients, and it's like throwing money out the window when you use that kind of stuff. So I'll always recommend, products like that. So today we'll cover some things like UTIs, hair loss, and we'll touch a little bit on some immune health. Depending on the time, we may cover one or two more things, but we'll just kind of see as the video goes along. So we'll start this out with, we'll go over a remedy for urinary tract infections, or UTIs. I personally suffered from UTIs horribly at one point in my life. It was at least, probably I'd say a good 6 to 9 months, but that time frame was absolutely horrific for me. It would cause me to miss work, sometimes days at a time. The pain was just so unbearable. Sometimes, as crazy as it sounds, the most comfort that I would get would be honestly just literally sitting on the toilet. I don't know if it was just the position that the urethra is in or what it was, but it seems like just sitting there, sometimes the burning would subside. So I would do that sometimes just to stop it. But the pain was absolutely excruciating, and not only just, of course, when you're urinating, but anybody who's had a UTI know that sometimes you can feel like your bladder's full, and it's just, you urinate just a few drops. It wasn't just that, like that was bad enough, but it would be the constant burning. So even when I'm not really urinating, I would still have this burning feeling, this burning sensation just all the time, to the point that sometimes it even felt like a blowtorch was up there. I mean, it was just bring me to tears. And of course I tried antibiotics. That's kind of the usual thing they tell you to do. And even though at times that would bring some relief, the problem is they would come right back. And as frustrating as that was, you'd go back to the doctor and then they would, prescribe another round of antibiotics, or sometimes they would change to a different antibiotic. But once you're doing this over time, the bacteria is resistant to it. Therefore, it's not as effective or effective at all. So, but what would happen with me is, once the antibiotic cleared up the infection, it was shortly after, and it was right back with a vengeance. So, not to mention, being as a woman, antibiotics, of course, obviously are known to produce candida in the body. So most women can typically expect to get a yeast infection shortly after. a round of antibiotics. So those are not fun either. But the problem with antibiotics, or one of the biggest problems in my opinion, is just the simple fact of, even though they kill the bacteria, that is when it actually works and the bacteria has not become resistant to it, is it's not only killing the bad bacteria, but it is killing the good bacteria as well. You need good bacteria in your body. In fact, I like to look at them as your little soldiers. You know, so if I take a probiotic, I'm always just, I kind of just like say to myself, you know, all right, soldiers, get to work. Because that's what they do. They help, you know, kill off the bad bacteria in your body. So they're constantly working for you and fighting, you know, different things in your body. So you always want your good bacteria in there. You don't want to kill them all. And if you do have to take an antibiotic, like there's just no way around it, you always want to supplement with a probiotic for sure. But the thing to keep in mind is you don't want to take those two at the same time. Because the antibiotic is going to immediately kill the probiotic. So it's going to do nothing. So it's usually like, take your antibiotic, a little while later, I'd say maybe even a couple hours later, take your probiotic. Now, the next dosage of antibiotics you take is going to kill that bacteria, the good bacteria you just put in your system from the probiotic, but you're at least allowing it to do a little work in the meantime to get in there and try to help before you take, you know, your next antibiotic. But once, it'll be the same. It's just a repeating cycle over and over again. So, you know, if at all possible, you know, you try your best to avoid antibiotics altogether. Once I kept having these and the antibiotics started to where they just weren't working for me anymore, I was on the search for just a natural solution. So I was visiting, you know, the herb stores. And I always loved talking to herbologists. They just seemed, or herbalists, very informed of all the different herbs out there and what they do and just the tremendous benefit that they have over your body. So I had found a protocol for UTIs. Now, there's two slightly different versions to this. One is it involves baking soda. The other involves apple cider vinegar, which I'll end up making a whole other video on apple cider vinegar because it's fantastic for your body in general. But the first protocol, it was baking soda, D-mannose sugar, and probiotics. The second protocol, which was almost identical, except again, instead of the baking soda, you was using apple cider vinegar for this. But again, you would still use the D-mannose sugar and you was still using probiotics. Now, unsweetened cranberry juice just never really did anything for me. I've tried it before. Honestly, it didn't really touch my infection, so that just didn't work. So, how to do this? If you do the version with the apple cider vinegar, make sure you get apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. And I'm sure if you've ever used apple cider vinegar, you've heard that before. It's very important. Use it with the mother. Probably, I guess, any organic apple cider vinegar with the mother works. I've just always used Bragg's. It's just always been really convenient anywhere I went. They always had that, but just as long as it's got the mother and it's organic, you should be good. So you'll need, again, either that or baking soda, and I'll kind of go between both protocols. Now, the D-mannose sugar, you should be able to find this in, I guess, any health supplement store. If you have a vitamin shop nearby, they should have it. I don't know if, at least I've never seen it in stores like Walmart. I've not really looked in grocery stores, so it's possible it could be in there. Either way, you could Google it and find out where to buy it. I've usually gotten it at either an herb store. I've purchased it off Amazon, and I have got it at Vitamin Shop before. And you'll need a good probiotic. So you'll need those. So once you have all these, How I did it is I started on an empty stomach, so I had not eaten anything. I mixed 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and make sure you shake the bottle up real good too before you use it. That just kind of disperses the mother that's in it, and you'll be able to see it. But you'll be that'll just mix it up in there really well. Mix 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with 8 to 12 ounces of purified water, and drink that down. Now, when you do drink it, since it's got apple cider vinegar, I would suggest you use a straw. Apple cider vinegar can wear off the enamel of your teeth. We don't want that. So just sip it with a straw and drink it like that. Now, the other option would be, instead of using apple cider vinegar, is you could use baking soda with like 4 to 8 ounces of water. Use about a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Mix that with your water, 4 to 8 ounces. Now, what this does, it helps neutralize the acid in the urine, which this can also help with the burning sensation that you're feeling. After you've done this, wait about 30 minutes, and then take your D-mannose sugar, and it's powder, powder sugar. It's in a little container. I usually get the brand I've always got is called Kal, K-A-L, and it's got a red top to it. But you'll mix about 1 teaspoon of D-mannose sugar, and you can mix it with just enough water to make it drinkable. Like you don't want it to be a paste or anything like that. So maybe, I don't know, just a few tablespoons of water, something like that, and just mix it up just enough so you can drink it down. Drink that, and then once you do that, and actually, let me back up. Let me explain D-mannose sugar right fast. This is a very special sugar that the bacteria in a UTI, which a lot of times when people get UTI, a lot of times it's due to the E. coli bacteria, but the bacteria binds to this sugar. So what it does, so when you were taking it, and it binds to that sugar molecule, it's helping you easily flush that bacteria out of your system, because you're going to be drinking a lot of just plain water, during this whole process as well. The more water you're drinking, the more faster you're flushing the bacteria out. So that's how that works. D-mannose is rapidly absorbed, and it reaches your organs in about 30 minutes, so it works pretty quick. Now, in my opinion, this D-mannose is the superstar behind this whole protocol, and for the reason, like I just said, it actually binds the bacteria to it so that it can flush out of your system. So, after you do this, shortly after, maybe, 15-20 minutes, take you a good probiotic. Now, what you want to do, and like I said, I always refer to these as your little soldiers working for you. So probiotics are excellent to take every single day, regardless if you're trying to fight any kind of infection. Always keep replenishing your body with that good bacteria. And in some cases, if I'm traveling or just on a really busy, hectic day, if I can't take some of my other supplements, or I forget, or just whatever the case may be, I always try to at least take my probiotic. If nothing else, I do want my probiotic in my system. So that's just an excellent thing to help your body. You want to do this protocol every couple of hours. Now, for me, this worked very quickly. Very quickly. And at the time I was doing it, again, I was practically in tears from the pain. So it subsided for me. The pain drastically reduced just after the first treatment. After my second treatment, the pain was completely gone. I was not feeling it anymore. Of course, I kept doing most of the protocol just for the simple fact that, we all have heard that once your symptoms subside, not to stop taking medicine for anything, because it doesn't necessarily mean the sickness or the infection or whatever is gone. It just means the symptoms now are not manifesting. You're not feeling the pain or the symptoms from it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's actually technically gone yet. So you still want to keep taking it even if the pain is already gone. So what I did is I continued the treatment probably another maybe 2 or 3 times that day, but I only did the D-mannose and the probiotic because since everything else kind of neutralized the acidity in my urine and the burning was gone, I didn't feel like I necessarily needed the apple cider vinegar treatment, at least for this anymore. But I kept using the D-mannose because I knew if I still had the bacteria in there, that was going to help keep flushing it out. So I did that 2 or 3 more times that day. Now, apple cider vinegar, like I said earlier, it's good for you regardless. There's a ton of health benefits for it, and we'll go over those, and probably I may even make more than one video on apple cider vinegar. It's just that good. But with this protocol, I didn't want to overdo it because of the acidity in it. I just, even though I was diluting it, I just thought that may be too much on my stomach for one single day. So I did it on 2 treatments, and then starting on that 3rd one, I just did with the D-mannose sugar and the probiotic. So pretty easy. Now, an amazing thing happened to me. Now, I'll also keep in mind, this was about 10 years ago that all this was taking place with me. I have not had another UTI, or at least another bad UTI since that time. Like, this protocol worked that good that I haven't had one since. I did have 2 very minor UTIs, and when I say minor, I mean I could just barely tell I had one, but it caused no disturbance in my life, nothing like that. And as soon as I felt just a little bit of burning, I immediately honestly, I didn't even do the apple cider vinegar. I just went straight to the D-mannose sugar. I downed some of it with a little bit of water, and then shortly after I took a probiotic. I did that a couple times, and it was gone. It was completely out of my system by then. And that's it. So like I said, just 2 little minor ones, and that's in the last 10 years. And therefore, about almost 9 months, it was like chronic UTIs for me. Like, I could not get rid of them. I'd get rid of it, and within less than a few days to a week, it was back again. So that was absolutely fantastic, and of course I've shared this protocol with many friends, and it's worked for them as well. So D-mannose sugar is just awesome. So definitely get you some and keep you some in your cupboard or your vitamin cabinet, so you've got it whenever you need it, if you're one that gets these UTIs and everything. Now, be mindful of things that can cause UTIs to begin with. If you're a woman like myself, we are at a greater risk to get them just for our anatomy. And of course, like I mentioned before, E. coli is kind of the biggest culprit with these. So make sure you're wiping front to back, never back to front, which to me that's never really made any sense anyway, but I guess some people do it. And if you're engaging, in sexual activity, is it a good idea? In fact, if you are having sex, or even, let's just even have a lot of sex, I hate to put it that way, but if you're busy, it is a good idea to urinate before and then after sex. Now, if you can't do both, it's more preferable to do, or more beneficial to at least do it afterwards. If you can't do it, at both times. If you can, great. If not, at least try to do it afterwards. So that would, if there's any kind of bacteria getting up there, that will kind of go ahead and flush it out. Just urinating. Now, a suppressed immune system can also cause your risk to be higher as well. So supplementing for good immune health And probiotics, like we've already talked about, is a great way, and we'll certainly be discussing these things in future videos. It's important to take care of your immune system, and some people just naturally have a compromised immune system. I have a niece that she has a very low immune system, so I've been trying to work with her and help her just be a little more conscious of it, and take better care of herself as far as, with the right supplements and things like that to strengthen her immune system, because it seems like she's always coming down with either a respiratory infection, or she's had multiple strep throats and things like that. So, but like I said, then some people they have a weakened immune system. Okay, so I think we covered UTIs for now. So let's talk a little bit about something else that I have kind of suffered from, and that is hair loss, and then of course trying to regrow, the hair that has been lost. I remember being younger and had such a thick head of hair that I used to have to get my hairstylist to even thin my hair out. It was so thick. And especially during the summer months, it would just, oh my goodness, ponytails just was not cutting it, It was just, I could feel, the sweat just on my scalp from being so hot. So, but I started noticing after being on birth control pills, this kind of started to change as far as the thickening of my hair. My hormones were greatly affected, which also caused me to develop stage 4 endometriosis. And with endometriosis, you are typically estrogen dominant. So I have an imbalance between my estrogen and my progesterone. If I don't discuss that on this video, I will also go over some things to help with endometriosis and fibroids. I also have uterine fibroids, or had uterine fibroids. But there's some things that you can take to take care of that. Surgery does not always do the trick. In fact, it rarely does. When I was diagnosed with endometriosis, my physician, because at the time I wanted to be able to have kids, and she went and cleared away as much of it, she said, as she could. But she said, with endometriosis, it's going to come back. So, and just me personally, I was kind of going through a stage in my life where, one minute I wanted kids, the next minute I wasn't ready at the time, and it was just a back and forth thing. And unfortunately, I just kind of, I waited too long. I didn't want to have another surgery. I did not want to have to go through fertility treatments because I have just heard, even though I know some couples have been blessed, to be able to have kids, but I know it's also can be very costly. But some of the drugs that you have to take cannot be that great for you. So I kind of wanted to stay away from that and just do stuff that's more natural for you. But I needed to get a handle kind of on that endometriosis, because I was like, okay, well, if I could get a handle on it, maybe that will help as far as being able to conceive easier and everything. So, now as far as the hair loss, it was when you have a hormone imbalance, your hormones affect so much in your life. And I did not realize that, of course, when I was younger, and as I got older, I just didn't know. Like, it truly affects many things, especially in a woman's life, in our bodies. So what I did, I've tried supplementing with biotin and various hair supplements, but wasn't noticing really that much of a change just using those. And as I have gotten older, I started noticing that the hair fall, it wasn't just thinning hair, it was the actual shedding of my hair was getting very extreme. it was always on my shirt, like I could see it on the back of my shirt. Sometimes I could just take my hands and I could just sometimes just pull it, and it would just be hair. Every time it would always just be hair just coming off. Whenever I took a shower, there were times, especially if I went a few days before with by washing my hair, that, and I know you're supposed to use lose like 100 to 150 hairs per day, I think is what they say. I was definitely losing a lot more than that. But I could, if I went a few days without washing my hair, I could actually, as my hair was wet and I was working, like shampoo or conditioner through it, I could feel hair just running down my back from the water. And I could look in the bottom to see it come by my feet, and I'm just like mortified. And this was happening like every single time, just about. And then when I would get out of the shower and either pick or brush my hair out, more hair coming out in there. Then I'm using whatever styling product I'm putting in my hair. As I'm putting it through my hair, I'm looking at my hands, and I've got hair just covered on my hands. And it just honestly got me really depressed. I thought I was going to be in a wig, before too long. It was just so much coming out. I'm like, I don't understand how I cannot keep this. I've got to do something. If it keeps doing this, you're just going to be able to see bald patches in my head before long. And I did not want that to happen. So now, unfortunately, I did not ever get stricken down with COVID, so I didn't get what they kind of refer to as COVID hair. I do have friends that got it, and they did get it, or get COVID. They had a loss of where they were just losing massive amounts of hair due to COVID. But hearing all this, and this, my own personal experience, I was kind of on a mission at this point. So I found the solution in a mixture of different things. And these things, like a culmination of them all together, have stopped that excessive hair shedding and started regrowth. Now, it's hard to pinpoint like a single thing that may be working the best, because I found a culmination of these working. So now there are at times, let's say, when I'm budgeting, I may steer away from something, or try something else, try something different, and we'll go through some of the items that I've kind of used, or some of course I still use, but it can get pricey, with some of this stuff, because I do like to use quality products. Like if I'm going to spend any money on anything, I want it to work. I don't want to just be, taking money and throwing it down the drain and it not doing absolutely anything for me. So if I want to get something, I do want it to work. So I do want always, good quality ingredients. And of course I always pay attention to the ingredients in there. Like I said, I don't take anything with harmful ingredients that I know of. So I try to steer clear of those. And that's whether things I take internally or things I put on my skin, whether that be my hair, scalp, or just my skin. So I do always take a good hair supplement, which a lot of times are kind of like a multivitamin. A lot of them, you've got about the same nutrients in them that a multivitamin could have. The one I'm currently using right now is from a company called Kintsugi, Kintsugi, and I'm taking their hair supplement, and I haven't noticed any problems with it, so I'm just going to keep on keeping on with it. Now, I have also used just like a good prenatal vitamin as well, and that can actually work really good. Even if you're not trying to conceive or pregnant, a prenatal vitamin, it truly has a lot of nutrients that a woman needs. So it's still a good one to take. Unfortunately, it has the ingredients you need for hair health. they seem to have a lot of in your prenatal vitamins. So that's always a good one. And whenever possible, try to use, like on your prenatal vitamins, a liquid prenatal. Anytime you can take a liquid over an actual pill supplement, I would always try to go that route, just for the simple fact that it absorbs better in your body, because your body's got that digestion process breaking down a pill, so it's like so much of the ingredients goes to waste. And when you're paying good money for this stuff, you don't want any of it. You want at least 75% of what you're taking to get absorbed by your body, if not even higher than that. And when you've got that digestion process, a lot of times that just may not be the case. So you could end up only getting 20% of the nutrients that you're taking. So I do try to take a liquid supplement. And also sublingual. If you find sublingual supplements, the ones that you can kind of put right under your tongue, and then you'll hold it for like 20 to 30 seconds. And some of these will come with bioperine, which is like a black pepper extract. It just helps it absorb even better. So if ever I can find supplements, that are sublingual, I like to do those as well. Now I do take supplement pills, but when I can find them, a good quality one in liquid form, I will try to go that route versus a pill. So, okay, now, once I started changing or doing some of the things I'm about to share with you, I noticed that my hairstylist, when I had gone, she had made the comment, like, what are you doing with your hair right now? And she said, or what are you taking? And so I started telling her, and she says, well, whatever you're doing is absolutely working. Because normally when I wash your hair, there is so much hair in the drain and on my hands. And she said, I bet I can count 2 or 3 right now. So that's working really well. And then as she started combing through my hair and cutting my hair, she says, you have a ton of new hair growth, like just baby hairs coming in. So that's definitely working. And one of the items, I'll tell you what, I'll get to that. I'm going to start with, or one of the products that I was using. And still do use sometimes, but again, it's one of those that, because it's more of a costlier supplement, I may not use it every single month, but it does work fantastic. And if you are able to use this every month, and even more ideally, if you're able to purchase 2 bottles a month, because for best results, and it's liquid, it is but you'll take 2 tablespoons a day, but 1 bottle is enough for 30 tablespoons or 30, month supply. So in order to do 2, you've naturally got to have 2 bottles, and it gets a little pricey. So one of the things that's fantastic for your hair is rosemary. So what I will do is I'll get some distilled water. I will boil about 2 cups of distilled water. I will take about 3 sprigs of rosemary leaves. I get fresh rosemary leaves. Just go to the grocery store and get those. And then I'll pull the little leaves off the stems. And once the water's boiling, I'll add that in there. I'll let it boil for about 5 minutes. And then I'll take it off the burner and just let it sit, until it cools down. And you'll notice the water will start turning a little bit of a browner color as it's just sitting there kind of steeping. And so what I do is, now distilled water, I want to add, it's got a lot of benefits just for your hair alone. So it can remove product residue from your hair and your scalp. It can soften and smooth your hair. It also improves hair strength and has like a hair conditioning effect. So it will keep it frizz-free, and it'll also even help prevent split ends. So distilled water is a great addition to any of your hair protocols. Even if you don't add anything to it, and you just do a rinse with just distilled water, that's great too. It also is known to retain the natural oils of your hair strands. So, because you don't want to do that, you want to strip your natural oils off, and then you do get really dry, frizzy hair. Now, so I use rosemary water after I've let it steep and it's cooled down. I'll use it a couple different ways. I will keep some in a spray bottle, and I will spray my roots and my hair several times a week with it. I'll try to do it, if I'm not going anywhere that particular day. Like, I'm fortunate that I work from home, so there are some days I really don't have to go anywhere, and just throughout the day, at least a couple times a day, I'll just go and I'll, mist my roots and just kind of over my hair and just let it air dry, and like that, and I'll just kind of massage it into my scalp once I do that. So I will do that. But I also will usually do a rinse with it, and if I do that, I make a batch, just like I made it for the spray. I will also make it some just for the rinse. And again, you want to do it really the same exact way. It's just this time you're not going to pour in a spray bottle and use it. So you'll just let it cool off. And then when I go wash my hair, I'll go, normally shampoo and conditioner, all of that, and rinse all that out. Once I've rinsed my conditioner out, right before I'm getting ready, probably to get out of the shower, I'll just take my rosemary water and I will pour it all over my scalp and hair. And then I will not rinse that out, so that will stay in my hair. And I will either let it just completely air dry, or whatever I'm doing. If I'm going somewhere and got to put, obviously product in my hair, it's fine. It just goes right over it. It's going to just dry right into the hair, so it's fine. I've never had any issues with it drying my hair out or anything like that. And what I also like to do a couple times a week is I will make a hair oil. This will be my own little kind of homemade hot oil treatment. So I'll apply it to the scalp mostly, but of course I also want to work a little bit into the strands of my hair as well. So it'll be an equal mix of castor oil and argan oil. Castor oil is fantastic for hair. I'll do another video just on castor oil itself, because castor oil packs are great for you. They work great with endometriosis as well, to make a pack and put it over your abdominal area and just wrap it like with plastic wrap, and you can even sleep in it that way, and it goes straight down to the organs, and it just really, it's like it breaks up the adhesions in there. It's fantastic, but it's absolutely wonderful for your hair. You can actually even put castor oil on if you have sparse eyebrows. You can apply it to your eyebrows. You can also use a wand, and you can buy you can find them on Amazon. You can probably find them maybe at Walmart too. I'm not sure. I haven't ever really looked. But just the clear, almost look like the mascara tubes, but just put castor oil in it and use that. Use the little wand, like a mascara wand, to apply to your eyelashes, and your eyelashes will grow as well. I like to do that if I'm going to at nighttime, just because castor oil is a very, very thick oil, and I can tell if I've got it on like during the day. And sometimes you have to be careful, like you don't want to put too much on there. Like if you're going to sleep, it don't matter as much, but like if you were trying to do it during the day, like next thing I know, I feel like maybe some might have gotten in my eyes, and it's not damaging to your eyes, but still now my eyes are all fuzzy and like I can't see and blurry and everything. So I usually just try to do it at nighttime whenever I do it, but yeah, it's fantastic for your health. So castor oil and argan oil, that's kind of my main base in my carrier oils. And then what I do is add about 4 to 5 drops of rosemary essential oil, and I just love the way that stuff smells anyway. But I'll add that, and I'll add pumpkin seed oil. This is also very, very good for your hair. Excuse me. You can also add a couple drops of peppermint or lavender essential oil if you like. Those are also very good for your hair. And like the peppermint oil will actually help it has an invigorating feel to it, like a cooling effect too. So it'll make your scalp kind of tingle and causes, the blood to circulate. And just so you know what a carrier oil does, such as the argan oil or even like castor oil, is it carries whatever you put. So if you've got rosemary oil that you're putting in there, those carrier oils carries it through the skin. So it's going to carry it down to kind of where it needs to go, basically. You don't really want to use essential oils by themselves. They're too strong. You know, they need to be diluted in a carrier oil. So that's what, and then there's all these carrier oils that are so beneficial just themselves. So now pumpkin seed oil, it is rich in unsaturated fatty acids and vitamin E, and that can reduce hair shedding by reducing inflammation in the scalp. And it also has the ability to block androgens like DHT, which is highly linked to male pattern baldness and female pattern baldness. So, and I take pumpkin seed oil, a supplement internally as well. I buy a brand, and I don't have, cannot think of the name of, I may do an oil because it is a really good oil for your hair. I may end up doing one just on pumpkin seed oil, all the benefits and everything of the oil on the scalp and hair, as well as taking it internally because it's really good. So what I do is, now that I have got all of this mixed up, I apply it to my scalp, and like I said, a little on my strands. I apply like a little disposable hair cap. You get a bunch of them at Walmart or Amazon, you know, just the disposable little plastic hair caps. And then I'll use a heat cap for like 20 or 30 minutes. Now, if you don't have a heat cap, like mine is actually like it's like a heating pad, but it's made for your head. And you can adjust the temp from, you know, low, medium to high. I usually do about between low and medium. I don't think I've ever really used to have to use it high. But it works fantastic. And now, if you don't have a heat cap, though, what you can do is just wrap your head in a hot towel, and, you know, it will work too. But the heat helps the oils penetrate. Now, let's see. So once I'm done with the heat cap, I'll take it off, and I will allow the oil to remain on my scalp for another 2 to 3 hours, unless I'm just in a hurry. Now, when you shampoo it out, anytime you got oils in your hair, you usually want to shampoo twice anyway, but especially if you have castor oil, because it is a thick oil in your hair. So it is not going to be out just on one shampoo. So shampoo twice. And my first shampoo is always with a good clarifying shampoo, because that just helps, you know, get residue off your hair, your scalp anyway. So it does really good when you're trying to get all this excess oils out. And then I'll use my other shampoo as kind of like my day-to-day shampoo, which of course always no sulfates, no parabens, and it's usually a shampoo and conditioner combo that is for or is formulated with ingredients to help in itself with hair shedding and hair regrowth. So I try to use those. And then sometimes I'll use my final rinse. After I've done that, I will do my rosemary water that we talked about earlier. So I'll have it sitting kind of in the shower with me to the side. And then once I have rinsed my conditioner out, I will then go ahead and pour that final rinse over there. So as far as the oils and stuff, that's kind of what I do there, and that has worked great. I will find when I am doing that, I will notice when I get out of the shower and pick my hair out, there is hardly nothing that comes off in my hair. And like I said, the rosemary oil is just, I know it's, rosemary oil is also, researchers have found that it is just as effective as minoxidil, which is also known as Rogaine. But with the rosemary essential oil, you're not getting all those bad side effects that you get with Rogaine. So it's the natural way to go and works just as well. Got other health benefits too. Actually, you can even mix it with some carrier oils for your face too. So it helps. And we'll do lots of stuff. Like, I love skincare. It's kind of a passion of mine as well. So I just love to take care, you know, of my skin. So, and a lot of Sometimes people can't believe I'm actually about to be 45 years old in about 2 weeks. On Cinco de Mayo, actually, on May 5th. So, but yeah, I've always loved skincare. Just, everything about it. So now what we're going to talk about is something called collagen. And I'm sure you have heard of collagen at this point. It's kind of been talked about everywhere. So collagen, it can act as an antioxidant. And it fights damage caused by free radicals, which research shows free radicals can damage your hair follicles. Your hair is primarily made up of the protein keratin, and the body uses several amino acids to build keratin. So collagen supplementation can boost your hair growth by providing your body with the essential amino acids it can't produce on its own. And collagen also makes up about 70% of the middle layer of your skin, which is known as the dermis. It can increase the activity of cells called fibroblasts in the skin, which sends signals to cells at the base of hair follicles responsible for making new hair. Collagen levels do slow down as we age, and we need to supplement it. And this really starts to hit when you turn about 30. Is when they start declining a little more rapidly. So because of it's slowing down, you do want to supplement with it. Now, like I said, it can do amazing things for your skin and your anti-aging regimen. So I think collagen should always probably be something that you want to take. Now I prefer using a hydrolyzed collagen because it's better absorbed in your bloodstream. Now, one of my favorites, and this is the one that I was talking about earlier, that when my hairstylist had made the comment about being so shocked at it's like my hair loss just hit the brakes, and all the new hair growth that I was getting. This is what I was taking at that time. I do still take this from time to time, especially when they've got a special going on with the company. But it's a liquid collagen from Modere, Modere. Now the one that I've used 2 different ones. The first one I started, because they've got some different variations of it. It's all collagen, but some of them do just a little bit more for certain things. The first one I used was called Life, which was kind of like a little bit of, did it all, kind of, so to speak. Taste delicious. It tastes like fruit juice. It was very, very good. And then I switched to one, their version of it, which was for skin. And both of those work absolutely fantastic for hair. The skin, I was noticing wrinkles starting to diminish in my skin, just a fullness, a tightness, just overall very, very impressed, with what I've seen and how I felt. But again, this you're looking at, it says on the bottle, 1 tablespoon per day, and there's 30 servings in a bottle, so of course that's a month. But for best results, to do 2 tablespoons, 1 in the morning and then 1 again in the evening. Well, to do that, you're looking, of course, at 2 bottles, and 1 bottle alone, you're looking at around $70-something, just for 1 bottle. So it adds up quick. Now, you can, with the company, you'll get a percentage off, like you can get up to 15% off on your order, and they have other little specials going off on, from time to time too. I love to get the ones when I see this any kind of special going on with the collagen. And when I have some extra money, I do like to maybe stock up just a little bit, because it is a fantastic collagen supplement. So I like it a lot. So if you can't afford it, absolutely give it a try. Like I said, I've tried Skin and Life, and both were really great. Now they do have one called Pure, and that's really just a 0 calorie, zero kind of everything. Of course, it's got all your collagen and all the good stuff in it, but I did not care for the flavor of that one at all, to the point that I couldn't even finish the bottle of it. I just really did not like it. Whereas the other two are absolutely delicious. You actually look forward to taking it. It's really, really good. They have some other great products in there too. On weight loss, trim. I did try that once, and I'm getting off on a whole little subject right here, but that actually works really well. And they've got a trim chocolate. They got different flavors. The one that I tried, it was you take a tablespoon a day, and it's got collagen in it as well. But it's got ingredients to help trim you up and trim that belly. And I know a lot of us women, we do struggle in the belly region. I know I do. Sometimes it's crazy. Like I have arms, like my arms won't get really big. I can get a little weight in my legs, but for the most reason, when my hormones are out of whack, it goes straight to the gut. And that is the most unappealing place to put weight on. And when we, find it difficult when we're trying to get dressed and, trying to button them jeans up, and you feel like you got to sling yourself on the bed just to try to get them buttoned, and you stand up and it's like everything just folds over your jeans. Not a pretty sight. Not a pretty sight. But no, trim actually works really well. But that chocolate trim, it is so good. If you are a chocolate lover, again, they've got other flavors, so you don't just have to use chocolate. But if you are a chocolate lover, you will love this. I mean, it's like chocolate pudding. And then they've got these little trim single packets that you can get. It's like Hershey syrup. I mean, it's incredible. Like you're like, I cannot believe this is actually going to help me lose weight. It's crazy. Good stuff though. Really, really good stuff. I have completely gotten off a side tangent here. Let's see, what else were we talking about? We're still on our collagen. Now, like I said, when I am budgeting a little more, I'll kind of alternate with brands that I will use for my collagen. Now, the Modere is a liquid collagen, but these next two are powder, which one is called the OBVI. I'm not even sure how they pronounce it. It's just capital OBVI, but it's the super collagen, and they have all kind of different flavors. That actually seems to work pretty well, from what I can tell. Now, what I do is I mix it with like a sugar-free lemonade or something like that, and mix it in a shaker and drink it. It's really, really good. I also do that with the Ageless Multi-Collagen from BioTrust. That's another brand that I like. And again, that's a powder supplement, but I'll mix it with a lemonade or a strawberry lemonade or something, some kind of, somewhat healthy fruit drink. And I'll mix that up and I'll drink it, and it's really good. Now, Dr. Kelly Ann, she has a bone broth that is so good for you. And it's, of course, got collagen in it too, but it does so many other things, health benefits. But that's another one kind of like Modere. It will be a little bit more on the pricey side. Great benefits to it if you can afford it. If you can, I absolutely encourage you to try it. And actually it's very good. I was kind of worried what it was going to taste like, but it's actually really, really good. I have kind of all of that, and so kind of I'll alternate so that I'm not having to go spend a lot on collagen every single month. I've just got some kind of built up that I use, but I do try to take collagen every single day. Now, you will also want to make sure you're taking a good vitamin D supplement. And sometimes a vitamin D deficiency can be one of the reasons, just a standalone reason, if you're having some hair loss. So I prefer Dr. Berg's. He's got a great D3 and K2 supplement. So with one capsule, you get 10,000 IUs of vitamin D, and then the K2 helps the vitamin D absorb. It also contains 20 milligrams of zinc, which is also good for your hair and immune health. Now, vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, so you need to take it with a fat, but if you are taking Dr. Berg's version of it, he has medium chain triglycerides and bile salts already in it, so you don't necessarily have to worry about that. It'll have the fat content already built in it. So, and then I also recently discovered how good gelatin is for your hair and other things in your body. It's 99% protein, as well as it's got amino acids and peptides. It increases blood flow and blood volume. So it increases the blood flow to your scalp and your hair, which is huge. Now, I tried the Knox powder version of the plain unflavored gelatin and added it to my coffee, but that just was a mess to me. It didn't dissolve hardly. and would clump up like on the side of my cup, and was a kind of a pain washing it. So I researched a capsule version, so that I didn't have to dealing with that mess every single day. And I did find a good one with a company called Solgar, Solgar, gelatin capsules. The only problem though is with the capsules, you have to take a lot of them if you want, because you need about 10 to 14 grams a day of gelatin, which is about 1 tablespoon. So at the 3 capsules per day that Solgar, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, it would take like 18 capsules. That's a lot of capsules to do, especially if you're already supplementing with other things. I mean, that's just a lot. So I am actually going to be on the lookout for an easier way to dissolve gelatin powder that would be much better than having to take so many capsules every single day, because there's just got to be a better way to do it. Possibly one of those little things that looks kind of like a milk frother that maybe that would help or something, because it is, it's like, it was like not really a good, like I want to take it. It's got some great benefits for your body, so I would like to take it, but at the same time, I just trying to find a little less of a headache way of taking it. So when I find that out, I find the powder, I found the great way to dissolve it, I'll surely let you know. But just keep that on your radar, that gelatin actually is fantastic. And maybe you can find a way to actually find a way to take it to make it help dissolve better. Now, last but not least, as far as any devices I use, the main device I use is for scalp massage. I have one of these in the shower that I feel like I use it to stimulate my scalp when shampooing or conditioning, and so I'll do that. But I also have a rechargeable device that has 4 moving little massaging heads on it that I absolutely love. And this thing feels amazing, and it actually makes your hair feel thicker too after you've used, like, I use it for like 5 minutes and just go up and down my scalp with it. And it is, oh, it feels good. Also, when I'm doing the hair oils on my scalp, I will also, when I take the heat cap off, I've still got my little disposable plastic cap on, I'll take, the device is called TheraScalp. But I'll take it, turn it on, and I usually kind of turn it on high, and I'll just kind of move it so it's even working those oils even further. Now that my head's still warm from the heat cap, it's working all that in there. Now I have used a laser cap, not the one that looks like the baseball hat, but the one that actually looks more like a helmet. But for me, honestly, I couldn't really tell much of a difference from it. So it does. The company does offer a money-back guarantee, but you have to have it for like a year to do it. Now, of course, I did wait that long, but it just really didn't. I didn't notice hardly any difference. Not for the expense of it, because these devices are almost $1,000, like $1,000 seriously, unless you can get like they got a really good special going on or something. But even still, it's going to be pricey, very, very, very pricey. So, but you're supposed to use it like every other day for, I think it's about 15 minutes. It's got a timer on it, I believe, and it'll just kind of go off when it's done. But you just, I mean, when I would wear it, I would put it on, just watch TV or read a book or whatever, and then of course it goes, yeah, it just goes off when it's done. But use it every other day for like the first 3 months, and then you can kind of alternate. You don't have to use it every other day, at least a couple times a week at that point. But like I said, I just wasn't getting anything, at least I didn't think, for what I paid for it. Like, I wanted to see some extreme results from this. So, and because I didn't, I just summed it up. It just did not work for me. So I did opt in to return that. Alrighty, well, I think that is all we are going to pretty much cover for today. So I definitely want to do another video soon on some skincare and also some DIY skincare tips and things that you can use, that you can, just kind of go probably get out of your refrigerator, or something that you probably already got, the ingredients you probably already got. And so much of this stuff we can make, and it really helps our skin tremendously. And for those of us that are budget-wise, is absolutely fantastic. So I'll be doing just several videos, all kinds of different, health ailments. And like I said, little do-it-yourself protocols. It could be teas, certain teas you drink, what you mix in the teas, just little concoctions or tinctures that you make and take, and just all kinds of different things. So we will do that, and I'll definitely be back on here real soon with some other videos. So thank you so much for watching this. I know this was kind of a long one. The other videos probably are not going to be quite as long as this, but I do appreciate your time, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope I am able to provide you guys with some absolutely fantastic content and things that will actually help you in your life and any kind of, problem that you may be having. And always feel free to, reach out to me. It could be something I've not personally experienced, but I love to research and to look into things to help. And when I find it, of course, you're going to probably get a video about it. So again, just thank you so much for being on here with me today. I certainly appreciate it, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.